boy, So Juve, and we in the building, and welcome to another episode of the My 5 Cents podcast. Let me go ahead and introduce the cast of characters to my that way. We got Alias.
Habitual line stepper in the building. What's up, everybody?
What's going on, man?
A lot of news to cover this week. A lot of news.
Who you telling? And to my that way, to help us break it down, we got the logical genius.
Yo. So I feel like you're whispering from the closet or something.
Man, try to keep it on the low. Sometimes you gotta keep it on the low. Oh man, and welcome to another episode, or actually, this is a bonus episode of the My 5 Cents podcast, where we go into the last week's news. And man, when I tell you there's a lot of news, there's a lot of news. Go ahead and put my volume up. What's our first article, people?
Oh man, this one's sad. Viola Ford Fletcher, one of the last survivors of the 1921 Tulsa Race Massacre, has died. Over the course of 2 days, Tulsa's Greenwood district was bombarded. 100 people were killed, homes were burned and looted, leaving 30 city blocks decimated. The area is called Black Wall Street. And all of this happened because a local newspaper published a story about a black man accused of assaulting a white woman. The white folks got angry, got mad, and tore the place down. And she was just 7 years old when it happened. So rest in peace, Ms. Fletcher.
Yeah, rest in peace. It's crazy because nowadays we think about how crazy life is. And, when you compare it to what was happening back then, I don't know if it's as crazy as some of the things that have happened in history, some things that you'd be like unimaginable. But these things happened, and this is definitely one of them.
Yeah, true story.
Yeah, I mean, condolences to the family. You would think that she was 7 years old. I think you said HLS.
Seven.
To live to 111 is crazy. It's amazing, right? For her to survive that and then survive 100 years of life, which is amazing. I think that she's only one of two survivors, if I'm correct, or something like that. I can't remember the number. I think the other survivor is 109 or something like that. I think when I was looking this up quickly, but yeah, I mean, to go through something like that in life and to have that trauma at a very early age, and to be able to live to 111 years old, God bless her.
Yeah, imagine the things she's seen. But yeah, God bless her. God bless her.
Yeah. What we got at number 4?
Well, fellas, at number 4, some more sad news out of Chicago, unfortunately. But outrage erupts in Chicago after a mom and her 9-year-old son were brutally attacked by a group of youths near an elementary school in the city's south side. The heinous beating was caught on camera and has since gone viral on social media. The woman, who has sickle cell disease, described immense emotional and physical pain. And she said she had warned the school staff about 2 years ago about that her son was getting bullied, but nothing was done. At least one of the attackers offered an apology, but some feel like the apology isn't enough. A few parents actually have been pushing back of the kids that were allegedly attacking them, saying that the children were quote unquote peer pressured, and defending themselves and framing the video of the violence as a lapse in judgment. Fellas, what do you think about this?
I always wonder, what would I do if I saw that? If I saw it happening and I saw these kids beat up the mother of my child or any other woman, would I be right to whoop some ass? These are elementary school. These are young kids. If I pummeled and I threw these kids across the street, would I be justified? And I, to be honest, like I'm not a fan of violence, but like I'm wondering, these kids are unruly. These kids are unruly, and something needs to happen. I don't know what the answer is, but I feel bad for the woman. I feel bad for her kid. That stuff is going to stay with you.
Yeah, raised by wolves. I think that this is the generation that we're dealing with, and it's crazy. Like my coming up, definitely the belt was a real thing. kneeling in the corner was a real thing.
On
And of course,
Rice.
yeah, and these things are like considered like barbaric now, right? It'd be like abuse. But the discipline is gone. And yeah, I'm not sure what exactly is the answer outside of maybe parents need to get a license before they start parenting, so
Mhm.
that they can provide some discipline to these young people. And then I didn't see the video, but like going to what you were saying, HLS, it's like who was recording and
Oh yeah.
why were they recording as opposed to trying to help out the situation?
This is the tough one. We were all kids and teenagers once. We all did some dumbass shit
For
back in
sure.
the day, right?
Of
I never
course.
did anything like this. I didn't attack. I've never attacked a mom, and especially like a group of people. Like it was a gang, like a gang attack. If you want to say, I don't know how many kids there were. I didn't watch the video. I don't want to. I don't want to see the video because probably get me angry. But at some point, you want to say you want to give children and kids a benefit of the doubt because when you are young, you do have multiple lapses in judgment, right? You do a lot of dumb shit when you're younger. And you hope that you learn from those things and they're not bad enough that when you get older, you become better for it, or you recognize your mistake and you kind of make yourself a better person going forward. You can't go back in time and change things, right? But this is tough. Like it's such a like the articles, it's such a heinous act. Like how do you say, damn, these kids effed up really bad, and then say you have to give them the benefit of that? I understand their parents, where they're coming from, because they're gonna always want to defend their kids. But at a certain point, like I know some states where, there's like, if you're considered a teenager or adolescent, like you don't get treated the same way. But other states, I think a lot of states treat them as adults, and depends on how severe the crime is, of course. But man, this is just, I don't know. It's just tough. Like you can't win either way, right? You punish these kids when they're young, when they don't know any better, but then you gotta almost kind of send out like a clear message for any other kid out there that who's even thinking anything like this is cool or okay to do, like, and try to send a message. But I don't know. It's a tough one.
And I don't know if this is a tough one, but it's definitely an interesting one. At number 3, MTG. That's Marjorie Taylor Greene just stunned Washington by announcing she's resigning from Congress effective January 5th. She said she's fed up with the broken system, compared her political experience to being a battered wife, taking a direct shot at President Trump after their very public fallout or breakup. I don't even know what we want to call this. She claims she's stepping down to spare her district's hurtful and hateful Trump backed primary. Now her Georgia seat heads up to special election, and the GOP is left dealing with yet another MAGA world breakup. Fellas, are you in for Days of Our Lives of the Congress?
This is a tricky one, right? Because I feel like this is kind of like Trump's MO. Like in his first term, he had a bunch of supporters and he fired a bunch of people, became at odds with a bunch of people. His friends became his enemies. His friends became his liars, or they were wrong. And I feel like Marjorie Taylor Greene was one of them. Like she was a big Trump supporter. She touted him big time when she was running, I think, and when he was rerunning. And it's almost like, I mean, it's almost like what, like a so what moment, right? It's like what's gonna happen? He's in office. He's not going anywhere, right? He's gonna be here for another 3 years, 3.5 years. What? And people leaving now doesn't even matter at this point, like because it's not like it happened the first time, his first term, and that probably led to him not being reelected when he ran the second time. But now at this point, like he can't run anymore, or at least according to him, he's not supposed to be running, or experts saying that he can't run anymore. But I don't know. The other thing I did read about this was the timing. People who were like attacking her on like the Republican side was saying, "Oh, this is timing," because I think at this time she qualifies for like a pension to get like guaranteed money or whatever however it works for Congress, and a lot of people are pointing that out.
Oh, yeah, very strategic.
I can see that. I can see that. I'm kind of mixed how I feel about this one. Part of me feels like you're in a position of power. And if you don't like the system, why don't you try to change it from within? Another part of me is like, you weren't doing things anyway. You were just a Trump loyalist. So get out and let some fresh meat get in there, and hopefully that person could change the system from within, or at least try to influence something. For me, you don't get any credit for stepping back and finally calling out Trump for what he is. Like, you've been a loyalist for so long. So, like, you change your tune. Okay, cool. Good for you, but you're still not a fan of my boat.
Yeah, I think that she has spit some vitriol before, and I believe in forgiveness. And she has asked for forgiveness. I think she's just probably trying to get ahead of the curve of our next article. And what is our next article?
In a rare moment of bipartisan unity, Congress passed, can you believe this guy's passed the Epstein Files Transparency Act to force the DOJ to release all of the unclassified documents tied to Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell. President Trump is expected to sign it into law, but here's the kicker. While the law sets a 30-day deadline for release, the White House has quietly lobbied to delay it, revealing cracks in Trump's control and sparking fresh doubt about transparency. Guys, what do you think?
This is what I'm here for. Forget Marjorie right now for a second. I'm here for this. Emails between Epstein's brother talking about Putin got pictures, Trump sucking off Bubba. I mean, let's think about here. Like, we're talking about DEI. We've been talking about DEI for how long now?
For a minute.
We have the very first orange president talk about breaking barriers. We may have the very first orange homosexual president bopping off Bubba, and I am in full belief. No one can convince me otherwise. Him and Bill been getting it on. I mean, I've seen during the campaign when the way that Trump was deep throating that microphone. I am here for all of it. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm here for all of it.
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be interesting because I really want to see like how deep, like in the rabbit hole this goes,
Yeah,
right? For a lot of people.
how deep is he
Yeah, how
throating it?
deep,
Yep.
right? And it's not just Trump. It's politicians on both sides of the aisle, right?
Deep. Deep. Okay, I want to mute myself. I'm sorry. Deep. It's real deep.
Here's the thing. While we're laughing at this, I mean, and I'll get back to you in a second, Logi. While this is super funny, this could legit send shockwaves for years to come.
Mm-hmm.
If there's video of a sitting president at one time or another giving head to another man at one of these, let's call them Epstein freak-offs, I just wonder what all this could uncover. Who else was involved? I think there's someone from the royal family stepped down from his position.
Yeah,
Andrew. Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, it wasn't just girls they were trafficking, I guess, at these freak offs. It was grown adult men.
Scandal.
That's
the nefarious behavior.
Yeah, that's a part of it. I hope people don't lose track of it, because there was a lot of like sex trafficking, which is horrible, right? There's all kidding aside with like all the Trump and all, who he was giving head to and not giving head to, or whatever the case may be. I actually don't want to know the details about that. But at the end of the day, these were criminal activities, right? And there were a lot of victims, right? And say what you want about Marjorie Taylor Greene and whether or not you think she was genuine or not, but she was one of the people that were constantly pushing for the release of the Epstein files, whether she had backing from her party or not, or the president or not, she was vouching for a very long time. Again, whether you think she's genuine or she's genuine about it or not, she was very vocal about it. So there are actual victims in all of this. So I'm hoping that they, by releasing this, somehow get justice, right? And I'm curious to see again how many people were involved in this, like how big was this network, right? I mean, I feel like Epstein is like Diddy's like one pond, but like Epstein's like the ocean, right? Like that's
Mm,
how big it is, right? And so I'm just curious to see, what kind of shit other people got into, literally and figuratively.
yeah. Yeah.
And what we got coming in at number one?
At number one, fellas, this is something we might be want to be, we want to be mindful of. Not to say that we're influencers, but we're trying. So, a jury just hit TikTok influencer Brene Kennard, who has about 3 million followers, with a $1.75 million judgment. She was found liable for alienation of affection and criminal conversation after having an affair with her manager, Tim Montague, which his ex-wife says blew up their marriage and harmed their kids. The verdict breaks down to 1.5 million for alienation of affection and $250,000 for the affair itself. Thanks to the North Carolina being one of the few states where you can still sue someone for wrecking your marriage. So many things about this, fellas. What do you think about the lawsuit? What do you think about someone being able to sue you because you ruined their marriage? What are we talking about here?
Well, first, I feel a little bit blessed that we only have 100 followers on TikTok. Because if you do the math on that, that may be like 25 cents they might get from us. So I'm a little bit happy because, man, 1.75 is a lot of ducats.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine, like, and we had an episode, and you loyal fans would know we had an episode some time ago. And I think Social Juvie, you were the one that posted the statistics that the majority of marriages end because of infidelity. Right. So if you're cheating in North Carolina, you should beware. If you are doing something and you live in the state of North Carolina, the precedent has been set. It doesn't matter who you are, it doesn't matter how much money you have. The precedent has been set. You need to stop. Stop it right now. Stop it right now. Because if they find out, they're coming after you and your wallet.
What's interesting is this is the first time I've heard of this law. I think I remember there was an article or something like that a few years ago about that, and it was legal. And here in the My Five Cents podcast, we like to edutain, right? So just for our listeners out there are 7 states that actually have similar laws.
Do you know the states?
I do. They're Hawaii, Illinois, Mississippi, New Mexico, North Carolina, which is what this article is about, South Dakota, and Utah. So people, keep in mind when you're in those states or you're living in those states, be careful. What I am curious about is what happens if with social media. Social media is very global and broad, right? So if you were an influencer or someone based out of another non-state that has this law, like let's say New York or New Jersey, whatever, but you impacted a marriage in Hawaii, Illinois, Mississippi, New Mexico, North Carolina, South Dakota, or Utah, would you be subject to this lawsuit? I feel like you potentially would be, because what you did had an impact on the people that lived in that state. But again, I could be wrong about the law, but be careful out there, people.
Man, Utah could have believed Illinois. I'm very surprised. My people in
Hawaii.
Chicago, watch your back in Chicago. But I guess that's it. That's a wrap for this week. So until next time, this is our 5 cents. Have a good week. All right, y'all. I gotta go. I'm back to
All right,